Welcome. Hello, everybody. It's really great to be here. Thank you so much for letting me join in the Arcadia Fest. I'm going to try and do my best to keep this as short as possible. So, like Mal said before, my name is Smart Hopewell, and I am an interactive filmmaker and writer. And my work is, I like to say, an amalgamation of mixed media. Creative media, it's a mixture of games, design, from a graphics design perspective, and also film. And today I just wanted to share a little bit of my background. I am dyslexic, and so that has been a big part of my story. And as you can imagine, gaming was a huge therapy for me in the way that I worked through how I honed my skills, and also just helping me cope day to day and focus. It tends to be, if you're dyslexic, a lot of people who are dyslexic might relate to this, and you may have a lot of extra energy or a lot of ideas, or you find yourself being very creative. And for me, gaming was a really great pastime. Some people may know what this blotch is. When I was diagnosed with dyslexia, this was actually one of the things that they used to determine what my IQ is. And yeah, so I had to basically say what I thought that this image was to me, and the guy across from me would make his little notes and basically tell me whether I was smart or not, ironically, even though my name is Smart. But as I sort of grappled with that and came to grips with the reality of this, I like to call it a blessing. That's what my mom always told me, and I believe it. And later on in my journey, Pokemon was a huge help for me in coping with what I was going through mentally, and just being able to make sense, right? Make sense of this world that I had been placed in, this story that I was living out, which was my own story. And loading up Pokemon Blue into a Game Boy Color during that process was like, it was eye-opening for me. I had never experienced anything like that before in this way. And I began my Pokemon adventure, and that eventually led me to where I am today. And it's, for some people who would say, "Oh, okay, maybe is that a great idea? Does gaming work for helping to cope?" I think it really just depends on the type of games you play. Pokemon is a heavily narrative title, and so it really aided in helping me to move forward with like studies and English and reading, and my hand-eye coordination. I struggled with that growing up. So moving ahead, diving into games, which is what we're all here about. Gaming has been a huge part of my life, as you can see with Pokemon and many other games that I've had the privilege of playing. And my experience sort of dictated something completely different through school and stuff. I obviously didn't go into gaming as a profession. It was a passion, but then something I sort of re-entered into as I got older. Last year, COVID-19 and the pandemic really helped me to rediscover what my passions were, and gaming and animation came alive again. And so this was a huge focus for me, moving into where I am today. So I guess I've spoken a little bit about what I do, so I'll quickly just break it down. What I like to do is bring stories to life, and I like to tell stories that have a purpose, right? Stories that are both educational and inspirational, and bring those two things together and present them in a content format. So I do a lot of content creation where I may take other stories, other stories from characters from other franchise, and bring them to life and upload them to YouTube for people to enjoy, and hopefully monetize, depending on how big I grow. And so in the process of doing that, there's been a lot of doing what I like to say, doing the impossible. And it's really for me about, there are so many obstacles that we come up against in life and so many difficulties that we face, and it can feel like we've really hit rock bottom. And for me, gaming and all the amazing people that I've met within the games community, and also the creative community in general, I think has helped me to work out where I am right now. So I craft these stories. So I either write my own stories, or I collaborate with other people to work on big projects. So I guess the I'm going to wrap up what I have to say, but my goal is always to encourage people and leave people encouraged. And when I bring these narrative pieces together, it's that after you've watched it, your day is that much brighter than it was before. Um, and so my hope is that these stories will help to renew your mind, refresh you, keep you going, and leave you feeling encouraged. So that is the end of what I have to share.